Here's a celebrity still alive, but here's one who I didn't know was kind of a total dirtbag. How Larry David faked a mental health episode to leave the Army 1 year early. Did you know Larry David was kind of a dirtbag soldier? Anybody know that? So we've got, although he's now one of the most lauded comedians in Hollywood, you can have your own opinion on him, that's fine, I know you'll let me know in the comments. Larry David never saw himself becoming a writer or a comedian. After graduating from the University of Maryland in 1970, he was lost and had little direction from his parents who wanted him to take a job as a mailman. He ended up joining the Army Reserves because he did not want to go to Vietnam. So back in the Vietnam days, if you were in college, you could defer from the draft. So that was one way people got out of getting drafted. But a lot of people faked injuries, claimed whatever the issue was that they couldn't get drafted. Draft dodgers, you can call people that. But also, you guys might not know this, if you were in the Army Reserve or the National Guard, they didn't deploy those units to Vietnam. So by joining the reserves, you could avoid going to Vietnam altogether. And that's what Larry David did. But not only that, avoiding Vietnam wasn't good enough for him. It says he never held a weapon. He was terrible at push-ups and sit-ups. Basic training did not go well for him, but that wasn't even the worst part of it, he told Howard Stern in a 2015 interview. I had an apartment in New York, and I would go to Brooklyn for the weekend, stay with my parents, spend all Saturday and Sunday at Floyd Bennett Field in a freezing airplane hangar. He especially hated the monthly meetings in Brooklyn because his hair had grown out of regs. His solution was a creative one. He and his fellow soldiers stuffed their big, curly 1970s style fro into crew-cut wigs, David said. So they would wear wigs to their Army Reserve meetings. He did a couple of years in the Army Reserves. He ended up doing 4. He was supposed to do 5. So it says, wait, hang on one second. It says here, David spent 5 years in Army Reserve, almost twice as long as the required service to draftee. He concocted a plan to separate 1 year early with the help of a psychiatrist. So there was a psychiatrist in New York who was giving people tips on how to get out of the Army Reserve for being mentally unstable. So he went and he got a letter from this psychiatrist. He brings it back to his command. He serves it up to his commanding officer, and then he acts crazy. He acts like a crazy person, and it says he left the Army that day, never to return. So he joined the Army Reserve to avoid going to Vietnam because he didn't want to do that. Then he did a terrible job in the Army Reserve. Then he faked mental illness to get kicked out of the Army Reserve. And so I ask you, is faking mental illness a cancelable offense? Like, that's really jacked up. You know, I don't think that that's something to take lightly. You know, I'm not freaking out over here. Happens all the time, as a matter of fact, in the military. People fake suicide attempts. People fake mental health issues. It's unfortunately very common. But faking a mental health episode, faking being unwell, is not an honorable thing to do. It is not an honorable way to end your military service. And Larry David should, frankly, be canceled. Let's cancel Larry David. Let's get him canceled. He's got to go. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching that clip from our live show. We're live right here on YouTube, Sunday through Thursday, 1800 Pacific Standard Time. If you want, come on by, join the chat. I'd love to hear from you. If you like that video and you want to see more, consider checking out this video right here or subscribing to the channel with this button right here. I look forward to talking to you really soon. I'm out for now.